Yeah, what's good, y'all? It's your man, the Bigga P, and I'm here to record my thoughts on tonight's card and also a card from last week too. Both were on HBO, with the exception of really one or two fights. So yeah, I'll just start with the main event. Andre Berto versus Robert Guerrero. What can you say about it? It was one hell of a fight. It was a brutal brawl, phone booth brawl. It was not without its faults. I mean, the ref could have done a better job about officiating the fight because he let a lot of fouls go that shouldn't have, such as the hitting behind the head, or even worse, the holding, which I absolutely, I was tired. I was tired of seeing it, but that doesn't take away from the absolute brutality of the actual fight. Um, Guerrero, who fought at 126, was bullying Andre around, who I believe walks around at cruiser, um, which is his regular weight when he's not training, which I thought was something else. Um, and Guerrero put that pressure on him just from the opening bell because I guess he had to nullify, giving Andre that type of room to actually throw his combinations or throw his right hand. Um, and it was an effective plan, and he won on that. Berto, however, showed just simply he has no plan B, can't adjust. Um, First he was trying to do the Andre and Adrian Broner thing until he got caught those couple times in the first and second round, and then afterwards it was just trying to throw right. It was just. I mean, he was trying. The first half of the fight, it was just he taking shots to get bullied, and then the second half of the fight, um, pretty much, um, second half of the fight, pretty much he was starting to land some vicious right hands, uppercuts. He was doubling up, letting out those Mike Tyson in the '80s type combinations. And Guerrero took them. He showed an unbelievable chin to take those type of shots and not go down and not even wobble. But at the end of the fight, I mean, the punishment those two landed on each other just told the whole story. I mean, out of both of them, only one eye was open. Thumbs up to both of them. I mean, I would call it a fight of the year candidate. It's not my fight of the year. Had it been a knockout, it probably would have been a strong fight of the year candidate. But I did like the way how they went all out in the 12th round. It almost made me wish that that them fighting like that almost made me wish that it was a 13th, 14th, and a 15th round, like back in the good old days. But my hands out for both of them. They showed plenty of heart. Guerrero rolling it up, probably get another high-profile fight. And Berto, I mean, Berto has power. He has heart, but his boxing brain doesn't exist. He's not the smartest fighter in the ring, and he has those defensive deficiencies and all. So I mean, he's 29. I mean, pretty much every time for him to really get someone to actually train him, try to train him right, um, to get all else, at least he can't take too many attacks because his punch resistance is not the strongest, as it is. So pretty much he needs to go back there and get some work done. And the opening fight for this card was Thurman versus Carlos Quintana. Thurman is pretty much a man. I think he's a crude fighter, but he has heavy hands, and he showed that by dropping Quintana in the first round with that body shot, which made Quintana get on his bicycle for second and third round, trying to punch at him, trying to outbox him, and then he got caught in the fourth round, and then he just got brutalized. I mean, some punches landed, some punches did, but when you're reeling into the ropes, and then Thurman has enough time to cock back his right hand and throw it and land it, it's probably best just to pull Katana. It was probably best to pull Katana out of the fight because it was just gonna get ugly after that. So hats off to Thurman, for being able to go through a known gatekeeper slash spoiler. And hey, he's a welcome addition to the 154 division. Throwing him with another young guy like Rosado or something. It'll make for an interesting fight. And then we'll talk about the fight that wasn't on HBO. It was on Showtime. It was around, I think, 5 Eastern Standard Time. Ricky Hatton versus Sachenko. And it pretty much went the way I expected it to go. From a man who was out of the ring for 3 something years, didn't really take care of himself. And, but like I said, he gave it a go for it. First 4 rounds, he was effective enough. But then after that, he just got progressively sloppier. And Sachenko, just being patient, just letting the jab, letting the straight right hands. And Ricky just got more and more, he got tired and he was just throwing, whoa, whoa. Now, a more accurate fighter would have picked him off just like Floyd was doing in their fight with those wild swings. And, of course, then they came in the 9th round with that one body shot that just put him out for the night. He was done after that. And it was sad to actually see Hatton just trying to not break down in front of the camera, and saying he dismissed, he didn't want to go out like that. But later on, of course, they was like, yeah, he's done, being retired. So my hat's off to Hatton, and he has millions. I'm sure he won his titles. I mean, he's 45-3. Yeah, I mean, he has nothing more to prove. He just enjoys retirement. Hopefully, you know, be able to take care of himself in this retirement, not blow up, no eating, no snorting coke or whatever whatever the stuff they like to do in his 3 years off. So, and then my thoughts from last week's card, Broner versus DeMarco. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a fan of Broner. I'm not a fan of how he acts. I think he's just a little bit too corny for me. But as a fighter, I'm getting to respect him more and more in this fight. Because DeMarco's, he's a hard, he's a really hard cat to beat. And he literally stood in front of him on some, almost Floyd Mayweather light, and just picked him off. Except, he was more aggressive. He pretty much picked him apart punches. And DeMarco just didn't adjust because he only fights. He only knows one way. He just keeps going forward. And he paid for it. He got busted up, just like he did against Valero. And then the finishing combination that stopped him completely with the uppercut was the thing of beauty. So yeah, Broner, he's I mean, for one thing, Broner will be a good welcome addition to 135. I mean, I know they're probably talking about moving him up, but I think they need to keep him at 135. Excuse me. They need to keep him at 135 for the time being, and I guess I know they want him to face Burns and get a couple fights there, and then move up to 140, where I know he'll really be tested. As for DeMarco, he's a young fighter. He's a young kid. He'll bounce back. I mean, it wasn't a bad beating. It was just, hopefully it was a lesson. You can't just go straight forward on people all the time. You can't do it. So, no. And, like I said, he'll come back, and I look forward to it because actually, I'm a fan of his. I like watching his fights. And then I guess the opener was Seth Mitchell versus Jonathan Banks. Now, Seth Mitchell, I mean, he's a nice guy and all. I mean, he was strong. But there was nothing in there that makes think, he's gonna be the next, American heavyweight hope. I mean, even before this fight, he got wobbled by Chaz Witherspoon of all people before he rallied back. And even when he was facing Jonathan Banks was a very experienced fighter. And although he was a cruiser coming up, I had visions of Monty Barrett and Ty Fields in my head. And sure enough, and that's what happened. Mitchell was aggressive. Jonathan set a trap, counterpunched him, and then dropped him like 3 times to force a stoppage. I wasn't surprised by that result. Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, at first I thought that fight was too early for that type of fight that Mitchell got, but I mean, he tried, and just have to get back, just have to go back to the drawing board and just continue to do his thing. As for Jonathan Banks, I mean, what's he gonna do? I mean, I know he's training Vlad now. That Stewart is no longer with us. I mean, he's gonna go after Klitschko. He's gonna go after Povetkin. who knows? But that was definitely it was a nice win for him, and see where he goes from there. I guess Mitchell just needs a little work. I mean, not the strongest chin. I would think he needs to strengthen his the defense a little bit, and he may in time he may become a player, but time is not on his side. You know, I mean, he has maybe a window of maybe 3-4 years um, before he starts. Before he starts. I wouldn't say what's the word I want to use for it. Before I wouldn't say deteriorates, but he starts losing more and more of his physical talents, so to speak. Um, and I think the last fight, I mean, it was a nondescript fight. Carl Froch versus Yusuf Mack, and the only thing that really surprised me is that Froch actually managed to put away Mack pretty early, which I was surprised about. Um, I mean, there's nothing really about that fight that was really amazing. Froch did what he had to do, and I know he wants to pretty much get another shot at Andre Ward, as if Mikko Kessler wants to get a shot at Andre Ward. Personally, I think Froch should just go after Kessler, a rematch from Super Six, because their fight was the best fight in the tourney, no question. So I figured, both of them wanted they should fight each other, because I know Ward has some mandatory coming up. And then the winner of that can go on to Ward, and then Ward will just probably beat both of them thoroughly. Although I think I'd give Froch more of a chance of actually beating Ward than Kessler. But yeah, those are my fights from today and last week. And yep, right now I'm about to go on my forums for a little bit. Speak my piece about the fight, and then peace out. So later, y'all. Peace.